As far as I'm concerned, the Relentless card has turned out to be quite a dark horse, in fact. It's changed the way I think about quite a lot of fighters and their skills. Perhaps that will also show back, I think, a little bit on my predictions. Although I don't think I've done so badly with my predictions, although I haven't actually tallied that up yet, I was pretty certain with this card how such and such person would win. And they really have sort of stumped me a little bit there. We'll go through the card and I'll explain as we go. We'll start with Rolls Gracie. Now, I actually predicted he would win, but that was against Mustafa Al-Turk. So I'm going to sort of declare this a bit of a sort of, well, it's going to be one of the other categories, I think, because he actually fought Joey Beltran. Tim Hague fighting Chris Terscherer. They say that Tim Hague was gassed. Didn't expect that to happen, I have to say. The official score was 29-28, and they've given it to Terscherer. Apparently the crowd disagreed, Hague disagreed, Joe Rogan looked disagreed as well. Sherdog certainly disagrees. Perhaps it was because of the gassing in the second round, I don't know. Not a fight that I've seen yet. I shall try, of course. I think that probably buggered up my predictions a little bit, but it looks like it, you know, there's no reason for it to be political in any way, so perhaps it was just a bad call, I don't know. Brian Stan fighting Phil Davis. They've given all 3 rounds to Davis, and in fact Phil Davis has won the decision. Again, not something that I thought was going to happen. In the first round, when he went for a takedown, he got the takedown, tried a choke, failed with that, but then he got mount, and then he got the back again. So really, Stan was doing nothing but defending the moment it went to the ground. And if it wasn't looking like he was going to get choked out, it was looking like he was going to get grounded and pounded. The second round, again, full mount by Davis once they get to the ground. Davis again tries for a rear naked choke. Davis tries an arm bar, and possibly would have got it, but ran out of time. So basically it was just Davis taking him down and trying submission after submission, and eventually getting the unanimous decision. Felipe Nova versus Rob Emerson. Apparently the third round was incredibly close, and so it's probably not a bad decision, it's just an interpretation, so to speak. Melvin Guillard and Renis Torres. Let's have a look, shall we? This fight went all the way to decision as well, and they've given it to Melvin Guillard, which is good for my predictions because I am not doing so well in them on this event so far. Woo! Mac Danzig versus Justin Buchholz. All the judges have given it to Mac Danzig. Like I said, I thought they probably would. I don't particularly like him, to be totally honest, but I thought that would probably be the case. He has now won one. Why he is still in the institution, I don't know. He has lost 3 in a row, but this is his win that I think he needed, desperately needed, because I can't see them keeping him with 4 losses in a row, even if he is, you know, a tougher. Matt Serra versus Frank Trigg. You know, I won this on my predictions. Sarah did win. I didn't think it would happen quite like that. he got a KO, in fact, despite Trigg protesting the win, of course. Sorry, the loss. But he did get a knockout that was then finished up on the ground. I have to say that I only realised about a day before who Sarah had gone to train with for this match. Obviously Sarah had taken it quite seriously because he was training with Wanderlei Silva, who of course is known for his stand-up. I don't think this is going to be something that we can expect from Sarah all the time, it has to be said. But I think that probably explains that his training for this was specifically very, very good. I had been hoping that it would go, you know, into the third round and perhaps he would win by RNC, since that is usually the method in which Frank Trigg loses, but it wasn't to be. Damian Maia has won his fight against Jim Miller. I wasn't sure how that one would go. I did eventually settle with Damian Maia just because I think of the experience more than anything. So there we are. I don't think that this should be taken as any sort of slight on Miller, to be honest. I think he is extremely good. I also think he's extremely good on the ground. I just think that Damian Maia has a lot of experience and is possibly a lot better. You know, most things, for most matches I would have chosen Jim Miller, and for this one I have to admit it was a hard choice. So I wouldn't go reading into this loss. He wasn't finished, so it was still decision. So I would say that this is not a bad outing by either, to be totally honest. Not a bad result for either. Unfortunately, Mike Swick was not so lucky with Paulo Thiago. I can't remember who I went for with this one off the top of my head. I have a feeling it was probably Mike Swick. Ooh. And it just wasn't meant to be. The second round's quite interesting. It looks like it started on their feet, and what happened was Swick just didn't get the better of the exchange and ended up on the ground, and rather than attacking on the ground with ground and pound, it looks like Thiago went straight for some exotic type of choke and won. Nathan Marquardt versus Chael Sonnen. Bit disappointed in Nathan Marquardt, to be totally honest. I did think that he would beat Chael Sonnen, and I thought he would do it with relative ease, to be totally honest. He claims that he wasn't fighting, what did he say? Something along the lines of he didn't do his game plan properly or something like that. But this is a big, big loss, in my opinion, for Marquardt, who was, you know, slated as being an Anderson Silva toppler, possibly, in a second go, and yet he hasn't really got past Chael Sonnen, and I don't think it would have been an outstanding feat anyway, because it was a decision victory that he lost unanimously. So, and the main event, which was Randy Couture versus Mark Coleman, I'm not disappointed by the result at all. Couture did win. I'm surprised, to say the least. Coleman looked worse than I remember him looking before. I did think that Coleman would manage to go all the way to decision and lose that way. I certainly wasn't expecting a stoppage that wasn't on the feet, and it wasn't. Unbelievably, Coleman lost to an RNC, which I think is not something that I would ever have been able to predict.